Well, here we are with So You Want to Play Guitar Video 3. What have we got in line today? Well, here it is. We've got 3 chords, a chord chart, a song, and away we go. So we're going to first start by giving you a chance to tune up a little bit. Some of you haven't got your tuners yet. So here we go. E, A, D, G, B, and E. All right, hope you got yourself tuned up and ready to roll, because here we go. So, what's going on? 3 chords. As you notice, we got the acoustic guitar, the cowboy guitar, and we've got ourselves 3 cowboy chords. Yeah, I think that's something else. Are we going to learn country music today? Well, maybe. But anyway, let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got an E, an A, and a B. And if you will notice, we're doing all of this in the first 2 frets. So we're not going to get all over the place. We're going to keep our hands in one spot. Okay, now look at this. This is kind of called, some people call it economy of motion, because we're not moving around very much. Now if you look, you will see finger 1 is on the 1st fret of the G string on the E chord. On the A chord, it's on the 2nd fret of the G string. And on the B chord, it's on the 1st fret of the D string. So we're not really going anywhere. It's just moving a little bit. Okay? That's nice. The 2nd finger, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2nd finger is going to start out on the 2nd fret of the A string. On the A chord, it's going to move over to the 2nd fret of the D string. And on the B7 chord, it's going to be on the 2nd fret of the A string again, same as that one. So look at that. We even got less movement with our 2nd finger. Now we're going to use our 3rd finger. On the E chord, we're going to have it on the 2nd fret of the D string. On the A chord, we're going to move it way over to the 2nd fret of the B string. And on the B7 chord, we're going to move it back to the 2nd fret of the G string, and we're going to add our 4th finger on the 2nd fret of the E string. Now you notice up here we've got X's and O's. X's. We're not playing that note. So when we get to the A chord, we're going to start on the A string. On the B7, the same thing. And then the O's are open. They're going to be like no fingers on it. Now you're asking, B7, why is it a B7? Because a B chord, for most intents and purposes, is a little harder to finger for a beginner. We're going to call it a B7. What's B7 mean? Well, it's a fancy B chord. And we're going to explain that later on. So right now, we're just going to get right into it and start playing our song. So we're going to start with our E chord. Finger 1, 1st fret of the G string. Finger 2, 2nd fret of the A string. And the third finger is going to go right below it on the second fret of the D string. And we're going to strum. We're using our thumb for a minute. Wow. Okay, we'll do it again. Now we're going to take our hands off and shake it off a little bit, because our fingers aren't used to bending like this. Then we're going to put it back. All right? Now you're going to work on that for a little bit. But right now, we're going to move on to the A string. Now look at, we don't move much. Don't move much at all. We're going to move the first finger is going to slide up one. The second finger is going to go right above it. Notice there's 3 in a row on that second fret. And then the third finger is going to go right below it. And we're going to start on the A string. Oh, I missed. Thank you. Ah, isn't that better? See what happened? My finger got on the wrong side of the fret. So you ask, where do we put our fingers? Well, we want to put our fingers near the fret, not on top of it, and not far away, like this. That's not so good. That's better, see? Because we got our finger closer to the fret. Now let's move to the B7 chord. We're going to start with the second finger on the second fret of the A string. We're going to put the first finger, first fret of the D string, the third finger, the second fret of the G string. We're going to play an open and put our fourth finger right there and play 5 strings. Sweet. Once again, you're going to make these chords, you're going to shake it off a little bit and go back, because we have to train our fingers to know what they're doing. Now, I mentioned earlier that this guitar is generally played with a plectrum, and that's why it has a pick guard. Now you ask, what is a plectrum? Why do people call it a pick? Well, here's the deal. Originally, people used a plectrum. What is a plectrum? A plectrum is an instrument that is used to strum your guitar. Originally, plectrums were maybe a stick, a piece of wood, a piece of bone, a piece of metal, something about this long. And some people used a feather, a quill from a bird, which would have been longer, of course, unless you chopped it off. And what we do is we take our 2 fingers and we put the plectrum between them, and we kind of grab it like we're grabbing a pencil in a way. Now that's like the common way. Now you know, you've seen people hold pencils in different manners, so that's going to be what's comfortable with you, and then you pluck the string with your plectrum. Right? But we're going to use a pick. This is a pick. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of shaped like that. They're made of all kinds of different materials, not metals. Some of them are metal, as a matter of fact. And we're going to hold it in our hand so it looks like it's coming out the side of our thumb. And the distance that we stick out is kind of going to be up to you and what you use, but this is a basic way of holding a pick, and you may find a way that's more comfortable for you. And we're going to strum down, we're going to strum up. Yeah? Nice. That's with a pick. Let's do it with our thumb. And up with our finger. Let's go back to the pick. What a difference. So you see, you have 2 different ways and you get 2 different sounds. So now, we've got our 3 chords. If you'd like, you can stop and pause this and go over your chords so you're used to going from an E to an A to a B7 and back to an E again. And that is what our chord progression is. See, we got to start out with E, A, E, B, A, E, B. Now you ask, what are these lines here? Well, okay, it's shorthand. Yeah, it is. So what that means is we're going to play an E, and we're going to play it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. We're going to play an A, we're going to play it 2 times. We're going to play an E, we're going to play it 2 times. Then B, A, E, B is going to be 1, B7. How many times do we, how do we play this? We're going to begin by doing 1 bar on each of these chords. So we'll start with E, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar. B-A-R. In music, it's a bar. So we're going to count to 4, 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm tapping my foot. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4. Back to E. 7, 2, 3, 4. 8, 2, 3, 4. And our big change, B, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we missed one. B, 2, 3, 4, and back and end on an E. So that's what it is. A bar, when we get there, we may not get there. If you look at a sheet of music, you have 5 lines coming across with circles and dots with stems going up and stems going down and all these things on it. But you'll notice every so often there's a vertical line. And between those vertical lines is what we call a bar. Our bars are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So are we ready? Let's begin. I'm going to tap my foot. Now you can tap 1, 2, tap both feet like you're walking. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear the difference. Let's try that. I'm more of a picker than a plucker, so we're going to see how it goes. But you're going to do it the right way. Okay, here we go on E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to E. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B. 1, 2, 3, 4. A. 2, 3, 4. E. 2, 3, 4. B. 12, 2, 3, 4. We're going to end on an E. So you notice I just went down on each beat. And when we pluck our strings, we don't use our wrist. We want to use our arm. It's going to be like our pendulum, like a clock. An old grandfather clock goes tick tock, tick tock. We want to keep it uniform, right? Tick tock, tick tock. Now let's try it a little bit different. We're going to add the upstrum to it. Now, right now, we're going to do something a little different besides just add the upstrum. On the way down, we're going to hit all 6 strings, or 5 on these. And on the way up, we're only going to hit a few of the little strings. I'm hitting 3, maybe 4. See how that is? If we go all of them, we go down with all, up with a few, down with all, up with a few. Almost sounds like you're playing something different. So let's begin. Ready? Oh, I'll put my thumb in the back. Yeah, okay, thank you for reminding me of that. We want to teach you properly as we sit up straight, smile. Here we go. I'm going to tap one foot this time. if I tap it at all. It's up to you. You get your foot tapping. Or you can get yourself a metronome, a little tick-tock, tick-tock, and you can also get one of those on your phones generally for free nowadays. And so here we go. I'm going to count to 12. 1. Oh, what are we going to call the upstroke? We're going to call it and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. You notice 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the and, we're going to keep that down on the same 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're going to add the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? Here we go. On our 12-bar progression, our chord chart for the day. Ready, set, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and... What happened? See, we made a mistake. It's going to happen. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and out. Now you notice I slowed down a little bit there because this keeping timing is a little tough for some of us in the very beginning. But if you use a metronome, the beauty of that is you're not like 1, not 2. You're going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. So you know you got to be there on that tick. 1 tick, 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 tick. See, we got to hit that tick on time. All right, that's our first chord progression. Let's get with it, practice it, and we'll get back with more. Right now, we're going to have a little discussion. So we mentioned the plectrum and a pick. The plectrum is an instrument for strumming a stringed instrument. The pick is a type of plectrum. So you say, give me a pick, and somebody says, oh, that's a plectrum. Well, yes, it is. But a plectrum isn't necessarily a pick, but a pick is a plectrum. All right, that's it. We'll get back to you in a little bit. All right. Okay. Now, I'd like to thank you. It's really a pleasure to have your comments and your suggestions. We're going to carry on with these videos for a while. We're not exactly sure how long. But what we've got lined up so far is we've got, I believe, 5 sessions of chords. 5 sessions like this of the different chords. And a friend gave me his guitar, didn't give it to me, he brought it to me and asked me to put some strings on it. Well, actually I fixed it because the headstock, this part was broken off. So I fixed it and it's in the drying room right now. And when it comes out of the drying room, we're gonna make a video. You know, sometimes I grew up by Canada, sorry folks, you know. Not sorry, but sometimes that comes out. Anyway, what we're going to do is take that guitar and you're going to learn how to put strings on. Now this is the guitar we're going to use is a steel string acoustic. It doesn't have the bridge pins, but you'll see when we get there. And you're going to learn one thing after another. All right, that's it for today. Today's lesson is out. Get yourself busy, practice some chords. Oh, really? Thanks for reminding me. We got other things we can work on. We got to have a little homework. Remember, we did our index, middle, ring, pinky, 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. Well, that's what you're going to work on. We're going to start now. We can do it a few ways. We can use our thumb. 1. Well, I can't because we got to do our fingers. 1. See that? We're using the two similar fingers. The two similar fingers. Index, middle, ring, pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string. Next string. Next string. Next string. Oh, I used my fingernail. Now you can also go backwards. And out. Okay. See how we were using one finger per fret? That's something that's going to be useful to know later. And as right now, it's as well. So we're going to do it up here, starting on the 1st fret. Then we're going to move up to the 5th fret and do the same pattern. Then we're going to move up to the 9th fret and do it again. Those of you with small hands, of course, it's going to be a little easier up here. As you notice, you move your hand 2 times, and you cover all the frets on the guitar. Wow, that's a lot. What else are we going to do? Now, we've mentioned before about the 5 notes of the guitar and learning the 5 notes of the guitar. The A, the B, the D, the E, and the G. Because that's our pentatonic scale, remember? Now, if we got a chromatic scale, which if we look at a guitar or a piano, it's every key, 12 in a row. So we start with our C major, C. That's a white key to the left of the 2 black keys. Then we hit that one. Then we go up to the black key, down to the white key, up to the black key, down to the white key, another white key, up to the black key, down to the white key, up to the black key, down to the white key, up to the black key, and back down to the white key, and we've got our 12 notes. That's called a chromatic scale. It uses all of them. Now, the chromatic scale is something that came along later, the 12 notes, and of course we got the 12 frets. Earlier, in the East, they had what we call semitones or half tones or quarter tones. So instead of going from here to here, they would have a note that's in between there. Like if you're going, see, there's a lot of notes in between there. But when the music got to the Western world, primarily Europe, I would say, they came up with a 12-note program, which gave us our common today's chromatic scale. Now, we've already learned the major scale, starting on C. The reason we started on C, remember, is because that gives us our pattern to make our scale. So we start on the C. You jump over a black one, a whole step, 2 frets to D. Jump over a black one, a whole step, 2 frets to an E. Then extra friendly, our F is right there on the white key. Then we jump over a black key to the G, whole step, 2 frets. From the G, we jump over a black key to the A, 2 frets, 2 step, a whole step. Then we jump over from the A over a black key to the B, a whole step, 2 frets. Then we end with our half step, 1 fret or 1 key back to the C. That's our major scale. So we've got a chromatic scale, a major scale, and we're going to add in the pentatonic scale. Oh, it's getting a little much, no? Well, maybe not. We're going to learn the pentatonic scale because it's going to help us learn the whole neck of the guitar faster and easier. So we're going to start out with our pentatonic scale on each string. And we're going to notice something. So we start off from E to G. We're going to start with E because that's our first big string. E. We're going to go to step and a half to the 3rd fret and we'll have a G. We're going to go a whole step, 2 frets to the 5th, which is an A. A whole step to the 7th, which is a B. We're going to do our step and a half because we're leaving out our very close to a D on the 10th fret. And we're back to an E to end our pentatonic scale, and it is a whole step. Now let's do the same thing using those same notes on the A string. A open, B 2nd fret, D 5th fret, E 7th fret. We're going to jump a step and a half to G and a whole step. We're going to end on A. Now we're going to go to the D string. D open. Our next one is 2nd fret E, 5th fret G, 7th fret A, 9th fret B, and we take our step and a half back to D. Now we're going to move up to the G string. G open, A 2nd fret, B 4th fret, D 7th fret, E 9th fret, which takes us back to G a step and a half to our octave. Now let's play those notes on the B string. B. We're going to jump up to the 3rd for a D, the 5th for an E, the 8th for our G. Is that 8? Yes, it is for our G. An A on the 10 and a B on the 12. Now we're to the E string, which is the same thing as this E string, except it's octaves higher. Now, here's the deal. This you may have noticed. If not, I'm going to point it out to you right now. Remember we talked about the piano having 2 black keys and 3 black keys. Then 2, then 3. So that's our pentatonic scale, is those 5 black keys on the piano. So if you want to impress somebody on the piano, step right up and just play the black notes. And the one you start on is the one you end on. That's all you need to know. When you just play around and they'll go, wow, you're good. And I say, oh, thank you very much. Right? So let's get back to our black and white keys, 2 and 3. Now look at, we were on the G here, right? G, A, B. What's that represent? This is just a visual. The black keys are not these notes, but we're using this as a visual. That's 3 and 3. That's our 3 black keys. When we jump up to D and E, you know, below the D, we got to go a step and a half. And the E, we got to go a step and a half. So that's our 2 white keys on each side of the 2 black keys. Pretty cool, huh? And on this string, the A, we got the 2 black keys here, D and E. And up here we got the G, A, B. And then, now notice something. Really, this isn't as confusing as it was a minute ago. We got an E, and we found another E. And we know there's a D. There's our other E, and there's a D. You see, this repeats over and over. So you're going to work on learning where these notes are. Slowly, don't worry about going too fast, because there's a lot of notes to learn. Now we got one more thing before we go. Remember from video 2, we played our easy chords, our mini chords. They're really not chords. People technically call them a double stop because you're playing 2 notes. And a chord, where a chord is 3 notes or more. But what did we learn? We play these 2 strings. I'm using my thumb right now, of course. So we're going to go open, open. Now we're going to just use our pentatonic scale. Open, open. E. That means we jump up 2 frets. The index finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and the middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, and we pluck down. That's a G. Now the magic is we slide up 2 frets to an A, slide up 2 frets to a B. That's our 3 black keys. Now we're on a B, right? We got to slide up a step and a half to a D and 2 frets to an E. That's our 2 black keys. Magical. And we're going to practice that. We're going to practice it with our thumb. We're going to practice it with our 2 fingers. We're going to put the 1st finger on the B string, the 2nd finger on the E string, and we're going to go together. Notice I didn't get the perfect sound? That's going to happen with you. It's okay, because we're learning. Oh, and we got one other way to do that. One more. We're going to take our plectrum, and we're going to play it with our plectrum. Now, and remember, extra friendly, so that's our 5 notes. And there's 7 in the major scale. We got our F right here, extra friendly. You know, our B's right here. Very close is our C. Now, the beauty of this, you're going to tell your friends, I'm learning guitar. And they say, well, play me a song. Say, okay. What key is it in? Woo! They say, I don't know. And you're going to ask them, well, what chords are they using? Now, today's music is based a lot on 3 chords. There's a lot of 3-chord songs. So hopefully your friend is going to pick a 3-chord song. We're going to say it's a C and a G and a D. So your friend is going to look up, you is going to look up on the internet or in a songbook. Guitar music is usually the words with a chord written over it. A number, a letter. So you're going to look at the music and it'll say this. We'll take for an example a GCD song. G, C, G, D, G. Well, that was okay, but we could do better. G, C, D, C, G. Now you're going to look up those chords and you're going to follow along and make yourself a song. You got it? Well, have fun, practice, and we'll get back to you with another set of 3 chords on the next video. Enjoy and have a good day. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.